In light of 3 murders recorded on Saturday and a recent uptick in homicides, it's being reported by authorities that gang activity might be behind one recent incident. Live in studio tonight is Carlos Reed, the CEO of the Hope Center and a consultant on at-risk youth. Good evening, Mr. Reed.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
Now, Mr. Reed, police attributed that gang activity to the murders that happened at Bar 20 Corner and Jerome Avenue on Saturday. Can you tell us whether or not gang violence is really prevalent here in New Providence and that specific part of the island?
Yes, it is. Gangs have graduated from youth gangs to now organized crime, where the gang members that were normally just doing delinquent behaviors are now trying to get paid and make a living. Sadly to say that our schools have become the breeding ground for this anti-social culture. While planning for economic stability, what we have done in Bahamas is we have neglected our social development, and the result is what we see now, these gangs forming.
What type of, or which age range and students can you say are being targeted to join gangs here in the Providence?
We discover persons that are involved in gangs from as young as 8 years old that claim to be in gangs. What happened is that you basically have 2 categories of gangs. You have the wannabes, and then who gonna actually graduate to gonnabes, and then you have organized crime. So what these youngsters do, because they want to be connected to something, they decide that they're gonna call themselves whether order, maras, or fire, and eventually they graduate and become a part of these anti-social cultures. Because when we look at our neighborhoods, our communities, that's what the culture is breeding. We're breeding persons that are trying to survive, that are trying to get paid. And for some of them, the only opportunity they have is to be able to be parts of these gangs.
So then, Mr. Reed, the question is there anything that can be done to resolve the gang or limit gang activity here in New Providence?
Yes, I believe there is. First of all, we got to change the way we view it. We view it as these bunch of people who really just into messing up this country, but that's not so. This is their way of life. This is what they feel that they ought to do to survive. And then there are a lot of people that really don't want to be in gang, but circumstances cause them to connect themselves with these anti-social faction. Take, for instance, if somebody was to kill my brother, and I don't feel that I'm getting justice from where justice is supposed to come to, chances are that I'm going to take matters in my own hands if I see that person on a constant basis. Then we have our prison system, where what has become a big laboratory. We take our problems off the street and then we put it into the prison. But these persons eventually, because of the flaws in our system, going to end up back on the street. So what we do is we develop Frankenstein in prison and put him on the streets after a while, and the results of what we see in the day.
Great information shared with us tonight, Mr. Reed, on gang violence. Thanks so much for appearing on the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. It's always good to see you.
Thank you.